Hey guys, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the debut album from Maryland-based rapper Logic. 24 years old at this point, and the debut album is called Under Pressure. The title track from this is really what got me hooked on Logic. Went back and checked out a few of his other songs. I want to check out more, but I had heard of this Young Sinatra series that had been so critically acclaimed, so I do want to delve more into that. On this debut album, he has succeeded in making something that is very cohesive lyrically, and it has kind of a same theme to it with the production. Everything feels calm for the most part, uses your typical 808s and maybe a few other synthesizers and other stuff to make up these beats, but there is something more organic to these tracks that makes them feel a little bit more atmospheric, a little bit more raw at times, but I can't say that I'm always on board with it because it's not always that interesting. I think the lyrics are what get me with Logic the majority of the time. I like this character Nikki that he's brought to light. It's something that you might have thought was an ex-girlfriend, maybe it's his sister's name or something like that, but it is in fact just his nicotine addiction. He's almost personified it as a person. He refers to it not only on the track Nikki, but obviously all throughout this record. He says, "Nikki, baby, come pick me up. I need this. Do this for me. Come save me, basically. Rescue me from this situation." And he's speaking of his addiction, like, I need this right now. I just need a cigarette. And he relies on it so much. He's saying, you took me as a young man. And it really did, and it's sad. He started smoking at a young age, and we see him talk about not only themes of this, but really just family issues as seen on the track Under Pressure, where he talks about missing his sister, his father, having conversations with them. We just really see a little bit more of the raw side of Logic. We actually hear skits, if you will, conversations that happens once again on the track Growing Pains Part 3. The prior installments of those have obviously been heard on his Young Sinatra mixtapes, and I think on this one he really just closed it out in a very nice way. Some tracks take off a little bit slow, like Soul Food, maybe gang related, and then just really break into it once he gets on his flow. He's quick with his words on tracks like Buried Alive, and even at times on Bounce, where he gets quite vicious with his lyrical content, and that's what I'm finding that I like Logic the most. Right there on Bounce proves what he can do, as well as the title track Under Pressure. Obviously I said that's what got me hooked, and I think that the reason I felt like that is just because of the fact that he was all over the place, quick with his words, but at the same time you could actually understand him and connect with what exactly he was feeling. His group that he rolls with, called the Rat Pack, is taking off. It's come into the light of success, and I think this album really just talks about it in a lot of different ways. I like the fact that he deals with a wide variety of topics, from police brutality to this broken home, like I mentioned, and of course some more introspective thoughts on maybe not only relationships, but obviously his own personal demons. Some of the cuts feel a bit lengthy, some of the production is a little bit sloppy, but then again I'm saying some because some of it is very tight and coordinated, and it feels like an effort that really went into it was actually paid off here on this debut album Under Pressure. Even though I've been listening to the album consistently over the past 4 or 5 days, I can't say that I have a ton to say about it. It's definitely going to be disappointing for some fans, and I think that what could have made this album better is just if he had mixed up things a little bit more. Some of the songs feel very stale because they feel like they're in the exact same vein, and I also could have done without all of the voiceover work from that programmed voice that comes in and tells us more information about the record. Honestly, that gets annoying. As many times as I've heard this album now, every time it comes on, I just find myself wanting to skip through those little parts where it says something like, Logic's album was recorded over the course of 1 year, and it was actually mostly recorded in 2 weeks though, and stuff like that. Why? I get it, it's an experiment, but I don't think that it was beneficial to this album. Check the description if you want to see my favorite and least favorite tracks, and let me know your thoughts on Logic's debut album Under Pressure. For me, it's a 3.5 out of 5. I know I don't cover a lot of hip-hop and rap here on this channel, but if you'd like to see me talk about more albums like this, definitely let me know. This album was a bit confusing for me just because I'm conflicted on it. There are some tracks that I really love, but at the same time, there's ones that just feels very stereotypical to me, like I've heard this story told several times before, maybe even many times depending on the track. Gang related is one that I had a problem with right there, even Never Enough. But then there are ones like Nikki, Under Pressure, Growing Pains Part 3 that just felt very fresh to me, even the intro on this record. So I am just a bit conflicted, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what everyone else is thinking. Of course, you can let me know what other reviews I should do in the comments. Hit the like button on this video, share it out with a friend you think might enjoy it, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV. beyond the reviews.